Hey guys, what is up? AwesomeTheSauce here. Hope you guys are having a great day and welcome to another incredible video. Today, we are going to be talking about two new Scion leaks. In the upcoming update, every Scion spell is getting reworked. The two that got leaked were the Mid Scion and the one that everybody has been talking about for years, the new Life Scion. It's going to be a hype video. We're going to be reviewing them. I'm going to be talking about how they would work in PvP, all that jazz. Without further ado, let's get right into it. I'm sure everyone's been waiting for this. This is a new Scion of Life. Now, basically what it does is it has a base set of damage, and it does double damage if you happen to have multiple heals on you. And it specifically wants overtime heals, because that's the only way I guess it can measure healing as a condition for a Scion. So basically things like Sprite Swarm might be really good. Things like regular Sprite might be really good. So why is this such a big deal? Right now, Life Scion is butt cheek. Every other school got an 11 pip damage spell that can literally do double damage. Every other school essentially got a spell that can do 22 pips worth of damage. But no, we can't do that for Life. We gotta give them this. Don't get me wrong, I actually think this is a pretty good spell in a lot of ways. In PvP especially. I've seen people use this in PvP and PvE, believe it or not. I don't think Scion of Life is as good as it used to be, because right now with timer, whenever you do this, chances are the pace of the game has been slowed so much that Diego will have to make a call, and the fact that you healed will probably not make Diego favor you. It's a great spell for a slow pace, but right now, and with every game capped at 30 minutes, I just don't think Scion of Life is good. That being said, right, maybe with chest timer this would have been good, but at least now we don't have to find out. We're just getting a damage spell. Now, I don't know if you guys actually recall, but in the previous, I think in the previous, like, spell leak video for Life, we talked about a new spell that's coming that's just completely unrelated to all these new Scion reworks, all these Oni spells that I will be covering soon, and all these 3-pip utilities. I'm talking about the Hunting Worm, and if you do have pip conserve, you could actually do something like a Hunting Worm at full pips into a Sprite, and you'll still have the pips to do an 11 pip Scion. What I really like about this new damage Scion is it takes something that Life is good at, which is healing, and actually translates it into damage, which we've literally never seen before. I think there are a lot of creative ways that people can use this spell. I mean, obviously I gave a few combos, a few overtime spells that are good, but honestly, I've only scratched the surface. I mean, Scion of Life could probably be used with Sprite Guardian. I'm pretty sure it does have a Sprite Swarm card itself. And if that's not enough, I've heard a lot of talk about Mastery Amulets coming in the next update that could make all of these 3-pip utilities, all these new spells, very accessible to different schools. You could totally see strategies, maybe even, where Life can rock a Balance Mastery and even use Availing Hands for a very good heal that is also lower in pips, so it's much easier to Scion out of it. The last thing that I find very interesting about Scion of Life is the fact that the new spells that actually convert things into heals do more and more for the Scion as you convert more and more. Now, what I said probably makes no sense without a good example, so let's take an example. I'm gonna start with a very situational one, which I actually don't even think I covered this one, but this is a new spell that they leaked a little earlier on Ratbeard's stream. It's a spell called Meditation, which converts overtimes on you into overtime heals on you, basically. So damage overtimes and a heal overtime. And you're probably wondering, why would anyone do this? Well, there's a lot of spells that are coming out that actually do double damage based on how many overtimes you have on yourself. So there are some schools that might actually want to put overtimes on you so that they can do double damage on their Scion or Oni spell or something like that. So against those schools, not only do you shatter their combo, but also let's say that they have 3 overtimes on you for some reason. How it works is that you actually get an overtime heal on yourself that lasts more rounds. If you convert one thing, you get a 3-round heal. If you convert 3 things, you actually get a 5-round heal. That's how these heal converts work. So unlike normal overtimes that you would generally use with this new Scion of Life, the new utility spells can give you a much bigger window to use Scion of Life. You could actually use it at not full pips and actually get to the pips in the rounds that you're healing with something as simple as a Sprite right before hitting with the Scion. So I would argue that the best way to use this new Scion isn't anything that we see in the game right now. It's actually to use the heal converts whenever possible. Now, obviously, the overtimes are not always going to be on you. There's another one that's called Tranquility that converts trap traps into heals. So hopefully there are situations where life can use it and build up for a Scion instead of having to just spam heals to always keep a Scion open. I'm hoping that there is strategy to that, but it is really, really nice that life can actually do damage now with an 11 pip spell. We've never had that. This could actually make life a lot better than it currently is. All things considered, a very, very good change for life. But life is not the only spell that got leaked. So let's look at the Myth Scion that got reworked for this next update. Now, if you guys have not been following the videos, Myth has been getting a lot of really crazy things being done to it, including a King Art nerf. So it makes a lot of sense that it actually might get a powerful tool, and it's not the most unbalanced thing. But this Scion, considering what they're getting this update, is actually phenomenal for Myth. It's way better than the current Scion, in my opinion. So this is a new Myth Scion. If it looks familiar, it's because it is. It's really, really similar right now to the current Fire Scion, except it's actually a little bit better. Because right now, if I'm not mistaken, Fire Scion requires 6 traps, I think. So you would actually have to go out of your way to set it up. This one only requires 4 traps, so it's actually quite easy to set up. So it looks like more and more with this update, they're solidifying Myth as a trap stacking school of some sort. There's multiple utilities that they've gotten which can convert weaknesses into traps, and they can also convert shields into traps. So obviously those spells are going to help a lot, but let's say that you manage to get enough traps on them. The nice thing about Myth is that you actually have other ways to add traps that are very, very easy to use, including the Maple moves, which seems to be by far the best way to use Myth right now, because I feel like every update makes traps a little bit better for Myth nowadays. But there's also spells like Keeper of the Flame, which right now you really don't see in PvP, but maybe we will see a little bit more of, especially if it means that you can break a shield, add a trap, and still have enough traps left over to do a double damage Scion. I think one thing that is very nice about the whole trapping thing for Myth especially is that you don't actually have to Scion with a bunch of traps on. You still have many options, including literally just hitting through the shield, which a lot of people do. But you also have little things like Mystic, you have things like Minotaur. If you have enough of the same trap multiple times over, even the updated King Art, which does a delayed overtime, could be your best bet for damage. I think this is the only Scion that seems a little bit bland, in my opinion. I think the other ones are very cool, very dynamic. I feel like, you know, oh, you need overtime heals. Oh, you need, you need your opponent to have 11 pips. Like, I feel like they came up with a lot of concepts. I understand why Myth has to be traps. I think they would love to do stuff with minions, because Myth is the minion school, but it's very, very hard to make conditionals around minions, because right now you can only ever summon 1 minion. And I think we can all agree that you could, like, if you can do double damage on a Scion by summoning 1 minion, like a Gala minion, for example, that would be busted beyond belief, because it's a 0-pip minion anyways. You could literally just spam the minion and always be ready to Scion. I do hope they play on the whole idea of Myth and its ability to stun, Myth and its ability to summon minions. I still think that that is a much better idea for Myth. And what I really am a little concerned about, in terms of what Myth will be in the future, is that traps and minions do not go well together. A minion like this is great for shield breaking, but it is awful if you're trying to trap stack, because it's 1 blood bet, all your traps are gone. The only exception to this rule are minions that literally don't hit, and as far as I know, out of all the minions that Myth can possibly use, the only minion that never hits is the Yaga minion, and that's because it can only really shield, guiding light, or heal you if you're lucky. Maybe there will be creative ways to use minions with the trapping strategy. I don't know. Maybe there are minions that I haven't looked into at a deeper level. Maybe there are minions like Talos, maybe minions like Minotaur minion. There are definitely minions that I don't always use, that I don't know for a fact if they hit a lot or not. So maybe there is room for minion play, but I see Myth clearly shifting towards a lot more trapping than it ever did with minions, you know? Like, I feel like minions are getting lost in this update. So unlike Life, where their school identity is rewarded, I'm not really sure how much of Myth school identity is rewarded. Then again, maybe Myth school identity is going to be traps and not as much minions. So we'll see, y'all. I have no idea how Myth is going to go. I do think it's going to be a very powerful school, even with the King Art nerf, especially with the Scion. So I don't think it's going to be, I think it's here to stay regardless. But yeah, y'all, that is a new Scion of Myth. That is a new Scion of Life. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys are enjoying all the leaks. Make sure you turn on noties so that I can keep y'all updated. There's tons of videos this week that are I'm gonna be going over everything. I'm gonna be going over all the new leaks. There's still more to go through, so make sure you drop a sub if you haven't. Let me know what you guys think of the Life Scion and the Myth Scion in the comments. Let me know what your opinion is of it. I will totally read every comment. I love doing that. And as always, drop a sub if you're new, man. If somebody's not told you're awesome today, they doing something wrong. So stay awesome. I'll see you guys soon. And yeah, yo.